this is the last part of the thing I stated that we're going to do today. But because I just want to show us how we can run mediation, because in structural equation modeling using AMOS does not have the facility to run. AMOS does not have the facility to run mediation specific indirect effect. For example, if you come here, you're going to see indirect effect, but the indirect effect you're going to see will not show you the specific indirect effect. Okay, you're going to see something like this here under matrix. You will see total effect. You're going to see standardized. You're going to see standardized indirect effect. Okay, but you will not be able to really understand this. You will not be able to have the standardized indirect effect. You wouldn't really know the actual. You will have difficulty here, simple. So in order to avoid this problem, so what we need to do is simply, we come to this point. Yeah, can you see the pattern matrix? Can you see the path diagram here? Are we still together? The path diagram?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, what I will do is simple. I will come here and label this part, because this is the direct part. This is the direct effect of this, and this is the part that we want to check the mediation. So what we will do is I will come here, we'll label this part A. For example, part A, I will come here and label here B. I'll come here and label here part C. Okay, so when I label this part, you know, mediation is simple. This multiplied by this part. Total effect is this part multiplied by this part plus this part, the direct part, which Andrew Hayes called the C prime, right? So what I will do is that if you look under here, you're going to see the point where AMOS wrote not estimating any user-defined estimate. Okay, so what I will do is that I will come here and I say define new estimate. So it's going to take a little while and AMOS will open the estimate. So let us hold on a little while, and then we will now instruct AMOS. We will write the equation and instruct AMOS to run that analysis and show us the indirect effect. Okay, so and show us the specific indirect effect of learning self-efficacy. So what we might do is I will simply come here. I pray the user-defined estimate runs, and I will say indirect effect of work placement learning to work placement learning on leadership via efficacy. I will say equal to A by B. Okay. Then I will check syntax to know whether it's correct. If it is okay, then we are going to go. If it is not okay, we have to solve the problem. And then you can see the syntax says okay. It means AMOS will check the indirect effect for us. Then I would also want to give command for total effect. I want to see the total effect, the actual total effect of this, whether it's significant. I can also report it, okay? Then I will say total effect. I will say total equal to indirect effect plus part C. Then I will check syntax again. Good. If syntax says okay, then I'm good to run the analysis. So what I'll need to do is that I'm going to save it, save the file, say save. Okay, then I will say estimate, ST data, okay, estimate data, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to say okay, then I'll close. So you can see that estimate is data is here, so I will save. Okay, now when I save, I will run the analysis and I pray runs. Pretty good, the analysis runs. So I will go to view test, and then you will see the values here. Then I will go to view test. Please, can we see the view test? I'm opening the view test. Can we see this point? Can we please see, are we seeing this particular point I am now?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, that's pretty good. So you can see under the regression weight, under the standardized regression weight, which we have actually checked the effect before now, and then you can see the multiple squared correlation, which is the R squared value. Okay, I'm going to tell you how you're going to report this R squared value. Okay, I'm going to tell you how you're going to report this R squared value. Here, I'm going to copy it and paste it in the Microsoft, so I will eventually report it here for us. Okay, now so you can see that under the user-defined estimate, so this is where we have our indirect effect. Okay, so you can see that we do not have a statistically significant indirect effect, because you see our indirect effect, IND, indirect effect in our user-defined estimate. So you can see now the estimate is 0.19, and then the lower bound, the zero falls between the lower and the upper bound. Okay, zero falls between the lower and the upper bound. So which means that we cannot confirm, and you can see that the p-value is 0.09, 0.098, which is almost 0.1. If we approximate this now, that's almost 0.1. So it's not statistically significant. So we do not have an indirect effect. And I want you to note that, but again, we have a statistically significant total effect. Okay, so we can simply come and copy this, and then so at this point, at this particular point, what I need to do is that I will simply I will simply come and explain here that the analysis okay, so I'll simply report that the analysis showed no evidence of indirect effect of work placement learning on leadership skills via self-efficacy. Okay, via self-efficacy, and I will come and put the beta weights. But at this point, I'm not going to, I will now add the bootstrap confidence results. Okay, so I will say beta weights. Look at the beta weight here. The indirect effect is 0.19. Okay, so I will say beta confidence interval. I always write it like this. Confidence interval, C, like 5% confidence interval. Okay, so yeah, something like this, and I will report it as, so I will report this to, I will say, please note is this one, please, minus 0.03 into 0.54. Okay, and then the p-value, I'll report the actual p-value because it's not statistically significant, so I'll have to put the equality sign, p equal to 0.09. If I want, I can approximate it to 0.10. Okay, so, and I will say, hence, supposing you also pose some of the hypotheses, we hence reject the hypothesis. However, I can say, however, the analysis explained the regression analysis. This is how you write your results. The regression analysis explained. Remember that for R-squared values, this is the R-squared value, the multiple squared correlation. So if you want to put it in the study, so if I want, what I will do is that I can yeah, so something like this, because this is academic, so I need to make it look pretty good. So so what I will say is that because this is R-squared values, I will have to report this, and then I will say that the regression analysis explained, for example, the effect of work placement learning on self-efficacy is this. This is the R-squared value. This is the bootstrap confidence, upper and lower bound, and this is the p-value. Okay, so I will say the regression analysis significantly explained the R-squared value. Now is, I will multiply this by 100. So if I do, I will simply say it explained 37.0% variance in self-efficacy, and okay, I will simply say, if I said that I can decide to report this value. Sometimes when I do, I always report it. I always report the bootstrap confidence interval to make sure to let them know that is actually statistically significant, right? It's actually statistically significant. Okay, so because you need to let the reader know, because the reader is actually not wasn't there with you, so to know. So I can say confidence interval, I will say 0.19 into 0. If I approximate that 0.60, okay, and then I will say p-value, say p equal to 0.001. 0.001, bracket close, in self-efficacy, and then I will also report for that of leadership, and then I will say, and this is 49.8%, that is 100 multiplied by 0.498. Okay, so that's going to be 49.8%, 8%. Then I will also put this, if I want, these things will make your work look rich and beautiful if you want. Okay, so yeah, But even if you don't want to report that, that's not bad. But if you can explain the percentage of the R square value variance, explained in the study, that's pretty good. Okay, so here I have 0.73. Okay, yeah, and then I also have 0.04%, 0.0 less than 0.04 significant if I want, or alternatively I would say less than 0.05 or less than 0.01, because this is also almost same thing with this. Okay, so this is how you can report the results. So you can see I have reported the result of this. Okay, what is remaining is that of the total effect. So I can simply report the total effect. I can say the results of the total effect showed a significant results. No, the analysis of the total effect shows statistical results. Okay, so we'll simply come here and put the beta weight. So I'll just come and copy this, the total effect. That is if I want to put total effect, but even if you don't put the result of total effect in your research, that's not a big deal. Okay, but it's always good to report all you have done. Okay, and that makes your work good. So the total effect is 0.79. Okay, if I approximate, and then the p-value is 0.01. Okay, so that ends your study. Okay, so this is how your findings will look like, your results will look like. And then the next thing you need to do is to write discussion and then begin to now explain each of these one by one based on this research model which you have found. So remember that this particular model here, this particular part analysis that we've done, structural equation modeling analysis that we have done, this is where you are reporting the findings here. Okay, yeah, these are the findings. So let me also help you, because the relationship between this and this, I will simply say hypothesis one, so that you guys will also follow. I would say that work placement learning would have a positive effect on leadership skill. Okay, that is hypothesis one. Then hypothesis two. Two shows that work placement learning show a positive effect on efficacy. Then the last one, hypothesis three. Okay, hypothesis three. Hypothesis three. Okay, hypothesis three said that self-efficacy would positively influence leadership skill. And then hypothesis four states that self-efficacy would mediate the effects of work placement learning on leadership skills. Pretty good. So these are the actual hypotheses that this study tested. So I'll point them out for you now to show you how they were tested in this study. So the regression analysis, so thus we reject hypothesis 4. So this is going to be hypothesis 4 because that is about mediation, right? So that's about mediation. So here, you can see that, let me show you this hypothesis here. Hypothesis 1 says that work placement learning would have a positive effect on leadership skills. So that is this particular part. Work placement learning will have a direct effect on leadership skill. Hypothesis 2 says that work placement learning will show a positive effect on self-efficacy. This is hypothesis 2. Work placement learning on self-efficacy. Hypothesis 3 says that self-efficacy would positively influence leadership skill. This is hypothesis 3. Unfortunately, we rejected this particular hypothesis because we did not find a statistically significant effect. I hope we are following here, because look at it here. However, the results showed no evidence of a positive effect of self-efficacy on leadership skills, and we'll put our regression better weight here. Okay, hence we reject the hypothesis 3. So there's going to be hypothesis 3. Okay, and then the hypothesis 4 here says that self-efficacy would mediate the effect of work placement learning on leadership skill. Okay, so that is hypothesis 4, and that is the indirect effect which we have done using user-defined estimates. Okay, which is the part this multiplied by this gives you the hypothesis the hypothesis 4, which is the indirect effect. What it means is that, supposing we found a statistically significant effect here, what it would have meant is that that the effect of work placement learning on leadership skill, it could be interpreted that that the effect of work placement learning on leadership skill was possible because the students feel they have a sense of self-efficacy in them, okay, in themselves, or that they have a higher self-efficacy belief, right? So this is typically how you can run your analysis and then report your results. If you want, you can put it up in a table. You can put this analysis in a table. If you don't want, you can simply report it like this. Yes, many journals would want you to see to report. Most journals will want you to report this particular region. So let me quickly point out here. You can see that all these they are those items that loaded in your own studies, right? That loaded in your study. Then these are the item loadings, and this is from here. This point, this is where we have the relationship results. So this from here to here. And remember that the R square value that we have, so you can see the R square value here, explaining the effect of work placement learning, the variance extracted, and you can also see the R square value here as well. Okay, so and these are the factor loadings. Okay, so colleagues, this is basically how you can. This is how you can. It's been quite a very long time here. It's 9 p.m. This is over 3 hours. Okay, so I think we have we've actually done quite a lot tonight. So if you have any question that you want to ask at this point, gentlemen, it's time for questions.